Hi, this is Jake from Periphery, and you're watching Soundcheck 411.
So Jake, we've heard that this album is a more collaborative effort than any of your work done in the past. How has this greater level of collaboration affected the band's chemistry? Has it like brought you guys closer as a group? Have you guys been butting heads? What's it been like?
It's been relatively easy. I mean, it's been time-consuming to figure out what works for us, but everybody is very level-headed and reasonable, especially when it comes to recording. So no one's really like left out in the rain. So we kind of bring people in and ask their opinion if they hadn't written a song or if they wanted to contribute parts to it. Everybody's allowed to have their say. So I think that was figuring out how to make that work in the context of writing 2 records was time-consuming, but it wasn't hard.
Awesome. And so the new albums have a very different vibe than some of your previous stuff. How have the fans been reacting to the material released online and in the live performances? Have they been, have they been giving you good feedback?
I'd say the majority has been really positive feedback. There's always this contingent of detractors who think that we're, migrating away from the sound that made them fall in love with the band, but really we can only do what we can do. Like it's not like we want to recreate the former glory. We want to create new things, and like I said, small minority, but they're also loud. They bang on their keyboard pretty hard. But really the response has been very positive, and I think the people who get it can hear that we've grown and kind of figured out how to be a better band.
Yeah, that's good that you guys have been evolving. So when people think of the word Juggernaut, they think of something like massive, overwhelming, powerful. How do those like connotations pertain to like this concept behind this album, and what does Juggernaut mean to Periphery? What does that word mean for you guys?
Exactly what you said it means. I mean, we wanted to do something that was, I think one of the words that was thrown around a lot during the pre-production of the record was cinematic. So like when you see a movie, it's usually like the ones that are super powerful that you end up loving or that end up resonating with you, and they're just really big movies, and we wanted to kind of create something similar with the music and the story told. So there's a lot of heavy subject matter underneath a lot of heavy music writing. So I think it's just a good word to describe, or a good name to describe what you're listening to.
Right on. So I know your album comes out pretty soon, and I don't want to force you to like spoil anything, but can you tell us a little bit of like what is this narrative behind this concept? Can you give us an idea, like what are some of the major themes or the major theme?
Well, I can't, because it's not out yet, and we've agreed as a band to let the listeners come up with their own interpretation before we start telling them what it is. I'm sure there'll be some sort of like some sort of explanation, whether it's a book or some sort of animation, or I don't know. The story will be told over time, but it'd be nice for people to go in with an unbiased view of what the 2 albums are, so that people can form their own opinions on what it is and what it's about.
Yeah, so sorry for pushing you on that one. I was just curious if you guys.
Lots of people have asked, but I give them a similar answer.
No problem. So I know you guys have been talking about having a concept album for quite a few years now, or something of this nature, I should say. And what was the deciding factor on choosing this specific narrative? Does this like pertain to the life of one of the band members? What was the inspiration behind it? Any particular thing?
You'd have to ask Spencer, because he was the one that wrote the narrative, and I'm sure that like anything creative, your influences and things that you've experienced come out in your creation. So I'm sure that there's some parallels, but I do believe it's very much fiction.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of get the feel of that from like the album cover. Like it kind of like anime inspired a little bit. It reminds me of like Systematic Chaos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And what has this tour been like for you guys so far? Like, have you like has it been what you expected, or has it been bigger and better than what you guys came in thinking with?
Well, I didn't know what to think. I mean, I know how we perform as a band, and we've been touring for quite a bit, so I knew that I knew that we'd be stoked with whatever it is we're doing. I think the real cool part is the other bands on the package are all super good at what they do, and they're all phenomenal musicians, and everybody goes on stage sounding like a headliner. So it's really nice to have a tour package full of bands that are just killing it every night.
So this may be a question a bit more for Spencer, but if you can tell us anything, like, were the lyrics more so molded by the theme behind this album, or is the theme more so molded by the lyrics?
Both. I mean, it depends on what part of the album we're talking about. Sometimes either like it started with a riff, and then we developed that riff because we felt that riff was already in the vibe of what we're going for that part of the story. And then sometimes we had a section of the story that wasn't written yet, and or the music wasn't written yet, but the narrative, there was something in between that needed to fill a gap, and the narrative was written, and then we could think about what we would want to do melodically to fill it in. So.
Okay, yeah, that would have been my next question. Like, if it was difficult in terms of merging like vocals with the instrumentation. So it seemed like you guys had to fill in certain parts, and overall it wasn't too difficult to merge them into one solid piece?
No, not at all. I mean, it's just time consuming like anything. What our motto in the studio is, you do it until you get it right. So, and getting it right means that everybody in the band has to sign off on it. So and that just takes time.
Awesome. So it may be early. I know your new albums actually haven't even come out yet, but what are some of Periphery's plans for the future? Like, what musical direction you guys are thinking of going into, or have you guys just been kind of laying low, not thinking about that yet, resting, basically?
Yeah, we've kind of been just gearing up to release this record, and we've all been writing. We always write, and I think, you know, as we get older, our writing style will change just naturally. But we haven't been thinking about the future of the band's sound because of just the album. The new albums are coming out. But I'm excited to see what happens. It's kind of like this. We're reaching this jump-off point where the band is going to either grow and do well, or people are gonna get this record and gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" And then we'll have to, start from scratch on getting back up on the horse. But I think most people are gonna dig it. I really do.
And I love the new album too. It's pretty awesome. It's hard to digest at times, but overall, it's growing on me, and I love it. So I think you guys did a kick-ass job. So, anyways, yeah, that's it for the interview. That's all the questions I had. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Nice to meet you, Jake.
Likewise.
All right.
We're gonna play Heads Up with Jake from Periphery and see how good of an actor he is. All right. Are you rolling out dough? I'm gonna pass. Blowing bubbles? Handing out cards? Dealing cards? Jumping jacks? Shuffling?
No, I can't really do this one that well.
I'll pass for you.
Yeah.
I'll get you out of it. Giving a hand massage. Rubbing your hand. Washing your hands.
Oh, that one's not happening.
Riding a motorcycle. Oh, that was really good. That's what we got.